Johnny Bench had 10 gold gloves. I think he's the greatest defensive catcher of all time, but maybe I'm a little biased. And Johnny sent us a tweet saying this is how he displays his. He's got his 10 gold gloves in his hometown of Binger, Oklahoma. And Johnny Bench joining us now. Hi, Johnny. How are you today?
I'm fine, Dan. I've been watching, and I've been thinking about something because it seems to be, sort of a theme of the show today. We didn't have football in Binger, Oklahoma, but I was thinking about quarterbacks that are under 6'1", that's throwing over linemen that are 6'7", and I think completion rates when you go into the first down and then wind up with a touchdown.
Okay, all right, I got it. Message sent there. Message sent, Johnny.
How do you display your Academy Award? How do you do that? I mean, do you have a thing up in your trophy case there? I mean, that would be good to show, too.
I don't have any Academy Awards. I do have some broadcasting awards, but those are down in the basement the sports Emmys I just put in the man cave just to let the Danettes see and touch greatness. But, I don't want to rub it in.
Why are they not on display?
I don't know.
I mean, it's just a frivolous thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're not gold or platinum or something of your worth, but at the same time, I really feel like, hey, it's a symbol of what you do. I mean, if you win an MVP trophy and they show MVP National League on it, what is it? If it's spray painted or whatever, I mean, it's kind of like pretty.
Okay, but Johnny, when you saw those gold gloves, and all it is a catcher's mitt that was spray painted gold, like it lost a little bit of the, wow, that's a gold glove. It feels like your kids could have made that for you.
Well, the worst thing of all, Dan, is when those three prongs are holding up the baseball, and they break. Boy, they're hard to get replaced. I mean, you call them, hey, I broke a prong. Well, I don't know if we have any prongs. They make them up and everything else. That's the hard part about it. So
there's
been a few repairs and everything.
Where's your MVP?
In Binger, Oklahoma.
Oh, everything is there.
Johnny Bench is in there. Yeah, I have a lot of stuff still in the safe deposit box. One bat that was signed by the entire all-century team, and I have that. And I got a few things there, and I've got a couple of things down here on display. But it's we built. They wanted to build this museum. I have Buddy and Janet Britton that started this. He was the old superintendent of schools, and they got more bats. I think he has 83 bats of his own, and they're quite the collectors. But when we opened this museum, we talked about it and everything else about having a museum in Binger, and we think that we'll draw 10 to 12 more people a year into Binger.
Do you have any signed Pete Rose memorabilia?
Sure. Yeah, I got a jersey. I got I don't think I have a bat. I have balls. And jerseys. Yeah, sure. And Joe and Tony. I mean, I've got one on display where I've got the outfield position that's up on the wall, plaque on the wall, and it's got little places where in the outfield and infield where all the balls are signed by the players who played in that position.
Oh, that's cool.
Really cool.
I've been railing on this new modern baseball philosophy where it's okay to strike out and nobody puts the ball in play. And now we're watching the Red Sox do this. The Astros did it last year. I hope it's going to catch on where, there's nothing wrong with moving the runner over or a hit and run or just sort of the smaller things here because it creates movement. And I also think that, with 2 outs, we've seen the Red Sox be so great. What have you noticed about the way they play? They're not relying on the home run, and everybody relies on the home run nowadays.
Well, I think maybe in the old days, the home run was going to get you money in a contract. Now with what we've got with all the StatCast and all the stuff and everything else, people show their worth by what the numbers that, everybody's going. You go to StatCast and you find out everything. Well, I mean, there's research being done. The Astros were so successful at it. A lot of other teams have used these things, and they're showing these things. And, they're able to display these things as an agent can to owners. And right now, I mean, I know guys would like to make $30 million a year, but they're, these guys that are, the middle infielders and everything else are getting their $12, $15, $18 million. And they're finding out that, if they play the game and everybody else, they'll get paid a lot of money. And they're into it. I mean, and you've got a couple of managers anyway, like they have. And Cora's got these guys believing that this is the way it's going to believe. And you've got it. And when you have that mindset, first of all, you establish that mindset. Second of all, if they don't fall into it, you find somebody else that will. And that's the way the Red Machine did for so many years, of finding players that could come off the bench to do a lot of things. But these guys are buying into it, and I think what they have, fewer hits, fewer strikeouts than hits. I mean that's an incredible number, and you can see why they're so successful and why. These are two great teams. I mean, as far as young players, dynamic, great citizens, and everything else. And when I told you at the All-Star game, the real stud of all those Red Sox is JD, man. I mean, he is the man. They won't talk about him much on the MVP, but it's all five offensive categories. He's the only one in the top five. And of course, the vote's over, so it really doesn't mean anything. The other guys had great years, but JD is the stud.
All right, I'll leave you with this. The Dodgers with sitting left. Could you imagine if some of your best players didn't hit well against left-handers, or if you had to sit some guys down during a World Series game? I know it's the new data and analytics here, but what do you think of what Dave Roberts is doing, sitting down these three lefties, including Bellinger and Muncy?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get Bellinger out of the lineup, and Muncy's, when he gets his pitch, he's a monster. But and again, you go towards the last week, and they go towards the playoffs and what they're doing. You look at their batting average and what their numbers are. But I just have to, he sees them day to day. He pulled all the strings the last 6 weeks of the season, and made them into a winner. And he's got so many. He can interchange so many of these guys out there on the field. Pretty amazing team. But yeah, it's kind of hard for me to take Bellinger and a couple of these guys out of the lineup. I don't care, how they're matching up. But against Chris Sale, you got to take at least an opportunity to switch over to the right side and take a chance with it. But the Dodgers going to be happy. Everybody's going to be happy to get out to a little warmer weather, and I think the series is going to continue and be good.
Good to visit with you as always, Johnny. Thank you for the phone call.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, buddy. That's Johnny Bench.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.